Hey everyone, welcome to this week's Facebook Live. Over the course of this month, we've been talking a lot about goals and making progress and what you really want to achieve this year. And today we're talking about one of my favorite subjects, which is excuses.
Yes, yeah. As we've gone through this process of, setting our intentions, making sure we're really committed, what decisions are we going to make? How are we going to show up? How are we going to do things? And then, of course, what are the actions that we're going to take? What often happens at the next stage, and you might have noticed this, is that we start to find there are excuses. There are reasons why we can't do what we said we're going to do. And it might feel like, oh, there's too much to do, or you start getting good reasons why you can't. And then maybe even prioritizing is becoming a real problem. So we start to default to the why I can't rather than why I can.
Yeah, I think for me, excuses are an absolute red flag. And I always say to people, pay attention to what's going on. Like, what's the dialogue that's going on in your head? Because, we've set intentions, we've set goals, we're clear about our actions. And so what's really going on? What does the excuse really represent? Because really there's only two reasons, right? We can't achieve our goals. The first is we overcommit, or we overestimate what we often can do in a short period of time. We often underestimate what we can do in a long period of time. So that for me is more about capacity. But really, it's about not actually wanting or not being connected in with the why of your goal enough, and not having that leverage, that momentum, that motivation to say yes to all the things you need to say yes to, all the actions you need to take that will move you towards that goal. So I think it's a really important piece that we with compassion, get real and honest with ourselves about what's going on. And, we know that there's often a lot of different things that can be going on when we find ourselves not doing the things we need to in order to achieve our goals.
Yeah, I love this bit about holding yourself accountable, like being honest, but also doing that with a certain level of compassion, but not letting it slip away from you, not letting you slide into that excuse cycle. Because what we know is that once we give up, or we let the excuses get in the way of what we've said we're going to be, we start entering that shame, failure, very circular motion that it can become self-perpetuating. As I try something, a good excuse comes along, I don't do it, and then the next time I go to try something, it actually feels harder. So there's a real opportunity here, as you said, to catch yourself early and to look at, what is it? What's getting in the way here? Why is it that I'm not as committed as I thought I was? And then you can start to unpack some of the things that might be going on beneath the surface and really investigate, again, with kind of a bit of curiosity, a little bit of, treating yourself as that experiment of, I know this is important to me on one level, and yet I'm finding excuses why I can't. So what could be at play that I need to investigate at a deeper level?
Yeah, I think the piece I always hold with clients here is that you're exactly right. This piece around, the shame failure spiral and not feeling good about ourselves. I've seen clients then say, oh, well, I'm not going to make commitments. I'm not going to set goals. And so they do an absolute kind of reverse away from perhaps the things that they need to be doing and focusing on that because it doesn't feel good, right? And so that's not helpful. What's absolutely helpful, to your point, is let's figure out what's really going on. Why is it so hard for me to say yes to the actions or the things that I need to be doing that I know will move me towards my goal? And absolutely, just start to understand, what are your strategies for success? What are your strategies for failure? And the more that we can spotlight what makes it easy, then we can do more of that. Yeah, how do I make it easy for me to say yes more? How do I remove some of these roadblocks that are getting in the way, and just start to look at, how do you replicate strategies that work? I know for me, leverage and accountability is huge. So I know when I'm hitting that moment of, oh gosh, I know I'm going to have to really stretch, and I know it's going to be hard for me to say yes. One of the things I've been doing is 10,000 steps a day, or 70,000 a week. There was a Saturday there where, I think I was 20,000 behind for the week, and I still had that weekend steps to do. And so I posted something on Facebook saying, hey, I've got a big weekend of walking ahead of me to keep myself accountable, because there was a moment where I could have easily just said, you know what, forget it. I'm not going to get there this weekend. And in that moment, I went, you know what, I don't want to do that. It's going to be hard. But I knew that by putting that post out publicly, that would keep me accountable to saying yes to what I did want to focus on over that time.
Yeah, I love this piece about finding a way and finding a partner, or finding a person or a colleague or a friend or a mentor, someone for which you feel, yes, I want to share what I'm going after, and you're prepared to be open about that and to make that public with them. It might only be one or two people, it might just be that one person, but it immediately changes the dynamic for yourself, because now it's not just me and what I'm doing for me. There's a broader stakeholder group that cares. And actually, they're usually very supportive. Like, they'll egg you on, they'll support you. You know, I think of myself when I've done detox, or when I've been training or doing a program that's been tough or whatever. You know, the people around me are amazing at coming through and helping me stay focused on what it is that I want. So there's lots of ways that we can intervene on our own behalf, so that we're not lost in that excuse cycle. And I think, get curious, start playing with yourself in terms of, oh, I'm noticing that I made a commitment and now it's slipping away from me. Oh, what could I do differently here? What might help me actually stay in the slipstream, in the momentum that I create when I stay on that path towards what I want?
Yeah, and I think the other thing is, and if it's still not working, if you still find yourself making excuses, then it's to really look at whether that goal is important, connect in with the why. And the more that you can do that, it might be that you actually need to reprioritize something. It might be that you've overcommitted, you need to back out of some things or extend timelines or whatever it is that you need to do. But I think, you know, really spotlighting what's going on for you, connecting in and getting honest with yourself about what truly is important, so that you can step away from that kind of, you know, shame, failure cycle of beating yourself up, and really just focus and commit to what's most important for you over the course of the year. So we hope that's been helpful. If you've enjoyed this conversation or any of our other confidence conversations, please feel free to share it with someone you know. And of course, if you'd like to go deeper with your relationship with core confidence, visit our website, coreconfidence.com.au.